Okay, now we can do a live stream. Hello, everybody. Welcome to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and MPD by me. Hmm. I hope you're all well. I'm messing with stuff on my desk that you can't see, which is probably for the better for both of us. Today's been a day. I'm going to vent a lot as we go along. This is going to be fun for everyone. Hello to everyone in the chat room. There's nobody in the chat room. There's 2 people. Hello, though. 3 people. I get it, because you see the live stream and you come on and you're like, oh, he's not started yet. He's just playing music. I'll come back in a minute. I'll go and get a mini pizza. And you go and you get your mini pizza and you come back and you're like, what was I doing again? And you put Night Court on and forget about me. I understand. I do the same. I get through a lot of mini pizzas and episodes of Night Court and not so many YouTube live streams. I forgot what we're all doing here tonight. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember now. I was having a day, wasn't I? Been having one of those days. Not my own stuff. Well, kind of, I suppose. I don't know. Nothing's been going wrong for me as such. I'm trying not to cough a lot while I'm talking as well. I've got a big cough that I wasn't quite over with yet. It seems I'm going to mute myself again. So excuse me. This is the danger of live, isn't it? I say that. I think I put a video out the other day that has a big cough on it, and I can't remember which one it was, and I couldn't be bothered to look through them all. My day. It's been a couple of weeks actually, where I keep butting up against Stigma and stuff about MPD more so than BPD, but not exclusively MPD. Which is that we're all horrible people, we're all evil, we all do the same bad behaviors, we all do X, Y, and Z, and we're all bad people because of it. And today I happened to click on a video that was something like 10 reasons why narcissists God, what is it? Why they lie or something like that. Why they play the victim. Why 10 reasons why narcissists play the victim. And it pushed me off the edge again because it was another one of these. Some of them I find constructive, others less so, significantly less so, in that they are just somebody being angry because they've been hurt by somebody with MPD. And I get that to a certain extent. I understand how somebody feels and what they've been through. And I understand that that leaves with it a lot of anger. But I kind of get wound up and dismiss the constant dragging of everybody with a mental health condition. Because I think we're an easy target, I think it's pretty low. We're such an easy target. And it's so fashionable to hate us, and I don't get it. I don't get what it is about us that makes it okay to just hate us indiscriminately, and there's no one on our side. There is there is no movement fighting our side of things. We are just garbage because we're evil or whatever. And I'm just so sick of it. And I like I say, I get that people get that way because they've been hurt by one of us. But I don't get how we get to a point of all of us are the same. All of us are bad. I accept as well that there are enough people with MPD who are abusive to pay attention to it, right? It's too common a thing to just ignore. Yet at the same time, God, it's not my night. Excuse me, everyone. Yeah, I'm annoyed by this constant sort of you're all bad, you're all evil. And then you make videos about how we're not all bad, we're not all evil. And then I got comments on, I think it was Reddit, like, oh yeah, you narcs, you all say this. You all feel so bad for people not liking you or whatever. Like we've joined a club, right? Like we've joined like the clan or something. Like we're clan members saying, why don't people like us? Like, it's not a choice. I didn't choose this. I'm not in a club. If I am, I would like to leave, please. And that's how we get treated, like it's something that we decide to do. And not like people who are undergoing a trauma response, which is what we are. And so that's why I've ended up making that video today. The Patreon. I'm going to do 2 this week. That's why I did today's video. That dehumanizing people with MPD. We're not people with MPD. We're narcissists. We're evildoers. We're the scourge of all who are good and pure. That's us. And I really, really, really am starting to resent this a lot. But clearly, anything I've said so far makes no difference whatsoever. Right? I don't know. Maybe some. And it's not you lot that I'm talking to, right? It's not your problem. You're on my side, right? That's all cool. I'm kind of trying to come at this from a more constructive point of view. Trying to so how do we get rid of this stigma? How do we effectively communicate that we're all different? And is this something we actually need to be doing? Because I'm still kind of astounded by it, right? The whole thing. I'm still kind of amazed that we have to make this a thing, that we have to say that this is well, actually, no. What am I talking about? I was about to say this is a nuanced thing. And so, of course, I'm not surprised that we have to talk about it. It's a nuanced thing. And the world doesn't do nuance anymore, does it? It doesn't do grey. It does black and white right now. And we are very firmly in whichever one is negative. And I see us just as a target now. Right? We are such targets for abuse and hate. For people just not wanting to hear what we've got to say. It's not like we're trying to convince people to do something, or something outrageous. I'd just like people to understand that I'm a person with a mental health problem. That's all I'm looking for, right? I don't want extra special rights. I don't want anybody to change their use of any language or anything like that. I don't want anybody to do anything. I just want to not be a figure of evil that I'm not. Does that sound like a lot? That doesn't sound like a lot. No, it's not a lot. It's really not a lot. I think that's a fair thing to be asking for, isn't it? Just to be seen as a person with a problem that I didn't choose. That's I don't understand why people talk about us so much like we chose this. Like it's a thing that we do. Like we're in a club, like I say. Because that's how it comes out. You narcs. Like that's meant as a slur. Right? When that word is used in that way, you narcs, That's meant as a slur. That's not descriptive, right? That's a slur. That's like saying UN words. It's 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 one of those things. It's like using lots of words that I'm not going to repeat. You narcs. You narcs are all the same. You all do this. What other mental health problem do people do that with? What other slurs do we have that are as acceptable to use for other mental health problems? Really? I I can't think of. Look, there are definitely derogatory terms for people with various mental health and mental handicap problems, but none that are acceptable, right? None that you can put in your YouTube video title or on your thumbnail with a big picture of you smiling on it. You know. So why us? I don't know actually. I don't think we're exclusively a group of people with mental health problems that hurt people either. Right? I know we do that, but it's not just us, right? There's lots of conditions. Where are the videos telling you how evil those people are? I don't get it. I I I just don't get it. Where are the histrionic personality disorder or antisocial personality disorder videos? Where's the person kicking out an antisocial personality disorder video a day like Ramani is? And having a go at those people. No one is doing it. And like I say, this is a trauma response. Where are the people making videos attacking people with PTSD or survivors of childhood sexual abuse? There are none because that's insane, isn't it? It's insane that that would be a thing that someone would do that. You people with PTSD, you're all the same. You're all too much trouble. No one, you don't say that because it's someone's mental health problem that they didn't choose, that they've been through trauma and ended up with this problem as a result. But for us, you can do that. Is it because we think we're better than everyone? Is that ultimately it? Is that because we are the only one doing that? Right? That's our thing. I have MPD. I am therefore a narcissist. Therefore, I think I'm better than you. And I'd love to say that's wrong, but it's not, is it? I mean, as I've had discussions and arguments on the internet over the last couple of weeks, whatever, I'm sat here with the attitude of, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think. It doesn't matter. You don't matter. And that's the angle that I tend to approach things from. I won't lie. That's very much what is going on in my head. But I have MPD. I know I'm doing that, and what I do now that that I didn't used to do so much is not behave like I'm doing that. Right? So that's where the therapy and the practice and the relearning habits and all of that stuff comes in, is that I tend not to behave like I'm above everybody. But rest assured, those thoughts are still going on in my head, so it's very hard for me to get riled up or angry at a stranger on the internet, because what do I care? I am so above that it's meaningless. It's just noise. Whatever. How did I get onto that? We have a comment. I'm really surprised at how clinical psychologists on YouTube speak so openly negative about those with BPD and MPD. They show non-existent empathy or bedside manner in regards to the issue. You're absolutely right. I can think of one in particular. I keep mentioning her name. Um, it's fashionable, right? It's what we do now. Attack the narcissists. Have a go at them. Um, and they've got us up against a corner, right? Especially when you look at what I saw today, because it's sort of preemptive Darvo, the video I saw today. Reasons why narcissists play the victim. Well, I can't argue with that then, can I? Right? I have no comeback to that. I then become the narcissist playing the victim. If I complain that the person who is claiming to not have MPD is talking about things in a way that are harmful to me and to people like me. I can't complain about that because then I'm being the victim. So we're stuck. We're just stuck with this. It's such a frustrating situation that you can't, as someone with MPD, argue it. And I can't talk about my motivations as well. This is another thing people like to do to me. They like to tell me why I have done things that they've imagined I've done, right? So, for example, today I had, you know, somebody telling me why I cheat on my partner, which is laughable because never done that. And being told why I did it. It's just quite a fascinating process to watch somebody go through. So just assuming everything about you, knowing only that you are a person with MPD, and then assuming, well, therefore you must cheat on your girlfriend because that you're a person with MPD, and people with MPD definitely cheat on their partners. So therefore you are definitely doing that. And because they've decided that we all do things for the same reasons, they can sit there and tell me why I do this thing that they think I do, but I don't. And that I just have no comeback to a complete work of fiction. Right? It's not like an incorrect fact. It's not a mistake. It's not something that somebody's just got a bit wrong and or misunderstood. It is a complete work of fiction. All of it. How the hell do you argue with that? And even if even if this is somebody who has spent if I'm dealing with like a medical professional, proper therapist, someone who knows what they're talking about, an actual expert who'd spent time assessing me and all of that stuff, even then they have no proof of my motivations. You can take my word for it. I can tell you why I did stuff. I can tell you what I was thinking when I did it. I can't prove or disprove that, and neither can you. And so MPD becomes a very difficult thing to argue about or for because at the end of the day, no one knows why you did stuff apart from you. And so when someone accuses you of doing stuff and telling you why you're like you are, all I can say is no, I'm not. You're wrong, and that's not really much of an argument. That's ultimately the problem. I mean, what do you do with that? I have come across some interesting characters that I found quite enlightening in many ways. Um, I don't know. It's yeah. No, I don't know where I'm going with that. In things that I can say. Sometimes I have to sort of self-edit. I think on a live thing. Yeah, it's been weird. Put it that way. So what the hell do you do about it? we are just so hated, so vilified. And I wish I could just make videos about it. I mean, I guess that's a start, right? Isn't it? Talking about stuff and being open about stuff. But we have this added problem that while we're doing it, uh, more of us than are not are running around completely unfettered, MPDing up the place and being horrible to people. And we're sort of trying to say it's not their fault they're like that and trying to get that to be understood. How do you, if someone's hitting you with a big stick, how do you go to the person that's being hit with the stick and explain to them, he's very sorry he's doing this. I'm sure he'd like to stop. Can you be nice to him? Well, no, he's hitting me with a big stick. This is our problem. How do you do that? I mean, you have to stop the person being hit with the big stick, don't you? That would be a start. And we only do that if we can get more people the help they need. And we can only do that if they realize that they need the help and want it. Because with MPD, needing and wanting the help are two entirely different things. As I've found myself saying today, we all need it and few of us want it. It's the problem with a personality disorder that makes you think you're amazing. We all think we're so great. We all think we're fine. We all think we're doing brilliantly because we're awesome. And so why do we seek help? I don't know if actual therapists have an interest in helping resolve the BPD MPD issue. Do they? I don't know. I don't think they have an interest in as much as they would get something out of it. But that's not why you do medicine and that kind of thing, is it? That's, you know, I think that clinical therapists would happily explain that there are differences in behaviors and that sort of thing. I don't know that that would get you as many YouTube hits. I really don't. And that is ultimately what we're talking about at the end of the day, is getting YouTube hits. And you don't get that with nuance, do you? Really? By the way, I should say, if anyone wants to send me a super chat or a super thanks, that would be greatly appreciated while we're doing this, and it would help me out more than you can possibly imagine. So if anyone can do that, I'd really appreciate it. That was like a mini ad break, wasn't it? Which I shouldn't have done. I just got onto it and I've kind of lost my train of thought. The YouTube thing. YouTube's about big and extreme, right? It's about look at me, look at me, look at me. And you, the way you sort of motivate people to do that, there are a number of ways you can do it. And outrage and hurt and anger is a good way of doing that, right? And if you can tap in to somebody who is very hurt and who has been through a lot and give them something that will allow them to vent or feel better about themselves, then you're onto a good thing. And it's very easy to do that by just making a video that says those people are bad. That's so easy to do. That just solves a problem, right? And if people have been hurt by those people, then they come and watch the video and they go, yeah, those people are bad. And everyone has a cry together and they feel better. And that is far better for you from an audience perspective than saying, let's have a discussion about this. And unfortunately, it's going to result in us saying that the person who has hurt you is not immediately a bad person necessarily. And people feel, I think people get the impression that that brings with it sort of a reduced responsibility, right? And I can understand why people would get that feeling, right? If it's not my fault, if I did this thing that I did because I have a mental health problem, then do I even have to say sorry? Right? Is that a thing? Should I, as someone with MPD, should I feel as bad about manipulating and hurting someone as someone with Tourette's should feel about shouting out a swear word in an appropriate place? Because we're fine with that. We can go, oh, they've got this horrible thing that they're living with. They didn't want to do that. We're not gonna get upset with the person with Tourette's for shouting out something inappropriate. We understand that there's a reason behind that happening, and we don't get upset about it. The MPD thing is similar but different. It does involve potentially direct harm, emotionally or physically. I don't know if there are any other harms. Spiritual harm. Do we do that? I don't know. So I think that in itself is just inherently harder to get over and to move past. But I think, can we not get to a point where it's like, but that's not necessarily a guaranteed thing for everybody with this mental health problem. It's hurting me now. It's causing me problems. I'm trying my best to get better, and all of this piled on is just painful. And I've talked a lot so far about the narcissism side of things, the MPD side of things, but it's not only that. I I see a lot on the MPD side, and a lot of this mostly comes from, relationship stuff. That's where the BPD gets the most hurtful. Even friendships, that level of relationship, all levels of relationship, and I see, gosh, I see just from the comments on my own videos, especially the so your friend has split on you video, which is a hugely popular video. Every couple of days there's a new comment on that from someone saying, uh I can't take it anymore. I have to not see this person. I totally get that. I've said that, look, you can take what you can take. You can't stand to be around a person. It's not your responsibility to stay around and take that punishment. And I don't, there's no reason why you shouldn't be afraid to sort of just get someone out of your life if they're harming you. Um, but I've seen much more extreme stuff. I've seen much more extreme stuff said about us, which is just distressing. When you see us referred to as a BPD, like, do you mean a person with BPD? No, a BPD. Which, God, that one just staggers me. Like, I understand more so with the MPD, but the BPD people, they're just sad. We're just sad and low and all of that. Like, I find it difficult that we're that easy to hate, right? As a group, that we can be just just hated. I mean, at the very worst, stay away from us. And I've made videos about that as well. If we're too bad, just stay away from us, just whatever. Make that decision, that's fine. But I don't get the vilification. I'm clearly getting nowhere with this concept of destigmatizing cluster B. I didn't think I was exactly going to put the world to rights. But I don't know, I just needed to vent. Like I said, I just needed to get it out there and say it yet again, as I've been saying it all day and for a couple of weeks. And I don't know, it feels quite therapeutic to me, to be perfectly honest. It really does. It really does. And I need that reminder every so often that I'm not an evil person, right? That's because that's what we're talking about, right? That's what it does to people. Like, I have to remind myself that I'm not a bad person because I have a mental health problem. And I can't think of any other situation where you have to do that and it doesn't feel quite right. Right? I don't like these sweeping statements that are made about anything. Saying all of any group of people do something or are something is a bad, bad road to go down. And I don't think it helps people. I don't think it does anything good. I don't think it does anything productive. And I think we only have to do it because we're trying to deal with people who can't deal with complicated things, which I find terrifying. And which doesn't help my MPD, right? It would be a lot easier to not feel superior to people if people in general were better. There you go. Like, do I feel like I'm above people? Yeah, I didn't vote for Brexit. I don't know what to tell you. I would like to not feel superior every day, but clearly I am surrounded by morons. Present included, company accepted, of course. We are surrounded by idiots, and they can vote. Staggering. And they can leave YouTube comments and Twitter posts, and they can make their own YouTube videos about the things their ex-boyfriends have done to them. And that's fine, and I'm very sorry that that happened to them. And I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Because abuse and domestic violence and all of that is a living hell. An absolutely unforgivable living hell. But by saying that we have a mental health problem, it doesn't remove our responsibility. Or maybe it does, I don't know, right? Does it? If not, why not, actually? But these things still came out of us. We still did these things. And some of us knew exactly what we were doing. You have to learn things are wrong, and just because you didn't realize or know something was wrong in the first place doesn't mean that you're forgiven for doing that thing, right? That you just get away with it. But at the same time, what can we do? Like, once we know that we've done something wrong, what can we do about that? We can try and make amends in whatever way, shape, or form that comes. But other than that, what can we do? We just have our remorse, our guilt and shame. We have to move on from it. We have to get better. And just saying we're evil because we've done something bad we didn't like, that doesn't feel fair. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel like the best thing to do ever. And so I don't know. At this point, anything I can do to stop that, to actually speak the truth about what happens, to actually say what is going on. And this is why I try and be so open about stuff. I try and just be honest about it because I have no shame with it anymore, right? I have no guilt or shame about my motivations or what has caused my actions because it was put into me. I didn't ask for this. I don't feel any more shame about it than I would a broken leg, right? And I think by talking about stuff, by being more open, and maybe it takes ages, and maybe things are going to take longer right now because there's a whole load of other stuff going on, and the last thing anybody wants to do is start caring about us, right? But I do wish people would listen to us more. They should. We talk the most sense. But I guess the takeaway from this is that we are all different. Our MPD, our BPD, our MPD and BPD all play out in different ways. We have different markers that all interact differently, and we don't necessarily share many, if well, no, it has to be one, doesn't it? We can not share up to 4 traits. And that makes us such different people. And that we can't say all narcissists. It's not all narcissists. And stop saying narcissist. I hate how I'm saying that. It's person with MPD. Because narcissism isn't a thing. And we are people with MPD. I think that's just an inconvenient truth for some. It certainly would mean that you have to make better, well thought out YouTube videos, unlike this one, which is kind of just a rambling mess. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all for watching and staying up late with me. It's been fun, as usual. And I'll see you in others. Don't forget to hit me up with a super thanks, a super chat, or a Patreon subscription. That would be cool and awesome. Thank you. And thank you to everybody who supports the channel anyway. That's awesome of you all. So I'm going to see you another day. Hopefully I'll be in a better mood. We'll do some happier videos on Wednesday, I think. Okay? You lot take care. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.